Hey guys, welcome back. In this video we will attempt to fixture the top tube and the down tube. But first we'll do a little housekeeping. You guys might remember way back when I was attaching the neck to the spine of the jig, I was doing this crazy stuff, not very precise, and David posted a comment and suggested I use some plate to position the neck on the same plane as the spine of the jig. So I will do that. I'm borrowing the plate from the dummy axle fixture. I'll temporarily attach this plate to the spine and neck to get it in alignment. Alright, good and straight. So now we're gonna cut the head tube, and I'm gonna use my bandsaw because I don't have a chop saw. Normally you would use a chop saw so that you get a nice straight clean cut, but because I'm using the bandsaw, I'm gonna need to get this thing in the lathe and face it off. So I got this steady rest to hold it steady while I face it. When I tightened the bearings down on the tube, it made like a slight indentation. It looks really extreme in this video because the tube's also dirty in that spot. So just something to keep in mind. You're going to want to not tighten it down too much. It just needs to be tight enough to hold it steady. And I also gave the wall a slight chamfer, both inside and out, because it was really sharp. Now I'm putting the tubes on the jig, and I need to get them at the correct angle. I have this angle gauge. It is a digital angle gauge, and for some reason I attached it to the jig with a clamp, but the gauge is magnetized, so I should have just put it on the tube. And now it's time to take some extreme measures. Boom, boom. So here is my bike CAD layout. And I want to mark the center point on the C-tube where it meets the top tube. So to do that, I'll measure from the bottom bracket top edge because that's an easy spot to rest the ruler. Now I'm setting the head tube angle. I need a 0 degree angle, which is no angle at all. So the top tube will be perfectly horizontal to the axle line. Next, I'm measuring my top tube length from miter edge to miter edge. I need a distance of 481.2 millimeters. That's sticky note on the ruler marks the length, so I don't need to strain my eyes. And you'll notice all my measurements are in millimeters, and I'm doing that because I'm less likely to make measuring mistakes that way. Now I'm checking where I need to cut my tube. This specific top tube is butted the same length on both sides, so to retain as much of the thicker wall as possible, I will cut even amounts off of both ends. You'll notice that I have this diagonal mark on the end of the tube I made this mark as reference so I orient the tube at the correct angle for mitering. I found this really useful later because it just reassures you that you're cutting at the right angle. This is a V-block I made so that I have a reference for the top and bottom of the tube. Setting my angle to 73 degrees. And now I have a bit of a situation. The cross slide is backed all the way out, but there is still not enough clearance for the fixture. The saw would cut into it, so I will cut my angle from the other side of the tube. Okay, getting it set up to miter the other end. Making my cut. And now for the big moment. Dun dun dun. I used the wrong hole saw. I forgot to change it out and I ended up cutting my miter with the head tube hole saw, and since this was the second cut I could not, this mistake is just unreversible, so I gotta order another top tube. Anyway, the show must go on. Let's do the down tube. Okay, so I ran into the same problem on the lathe again, so I put it instead in the mill. I don't like how the cut came out. It came out really rough, and I think because the table was loose. And here's the result, quite rough. Alright, now we're gonna miter the other side. Get my angle set up. Okay, so if you guys are paying attention or watching closely, what's wrong here? I used the wrong hole saw. Again, I forgot to change it out. Oh man. So here is the head tube fit up and the bottom bracket fit up. And so what ended up saving me here is I didn't cut off enough material, so I was able to get in there with a file and still get it to fit properly. So I was gonna leave this footage out because it's pretty embarrassing. There's all kinds of wrong going on here. My blocks holding the thing broke, and I try to like get it back together, and I really should make a real set of blocks, but I just wanted to get this thing finished, so yeah, very embarrassing. But you know what? No secrets. You guys get to see everything. Okay, new top tube, and we are mitering. This time I'm using the small hole saw because if I mess up and forget to change it out, I can still salvage the tube and cut a larger hole where I previously would have cut a smaller hole. Here is the top tube and seat tube miter. Could be better, but I really don't want to take off any more material, so I decided to go with that. This is top tube and head tube. This one came out the best. Head tube and down tube. This came out second best. And last we have the filed and adjusted down tube and bottom bracket miter. Okay, that's all for this week. Next video, I will be making some purgeable heat sinks for the head tube and seat tube. Please drop in for that, and I'll see you guys later.